Welcome back to Narrate-Now, the place where we break down the craziest, bloodiest, and most unpredictable movies. Today's recap is an absolute roller coaster. You're about to witness one unlucky handyman go from fixing an exhaust fan to fighting for his life in the middle of a zombie outbreak, all inside a women's restroom. Before we flush into this madness, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another insane movie recap. Now let's dive in. Our story kicks off with Dan, an ordinary repairman just trying to fix the exhaust fan in a women's restroom. But out of nowhere, plop, a dead rat falls from the vent and lands squarely on his face. Disgusted, gagging, he finishes his repair, then rushes to a stall to throw up. Just as he's about to leave, two girls in Christmas outfits walk in, chatting. Terrified of being mistaken for a creep, Dan quietly locks the stall door. Then things take a horrifying turn. One girl casually mentions she was bitten by a homeless man, and right before Dan's eyes, she transforms into a zombie and viciously attacks her friend. Blood splatters everywhere. Dan is frozen in shock. He tries to call the police, but in his panic, splash, his phone falls into the toilet. The noise draws the zombie's attention, and it begins pounding on his stall. Dan stays silent, but the zombie crawls under the stall door and grabs his pants. In a desperate scramble, his foot slams down on the toilet lid, flushing the zombie straight into the bowl. He seizes the chance to escape, but only makes it to the restroom door before bumping into another zombie. This one drops the fried chicken it's holding and lunges at him. Dan panics, accidentally sets off the hand dryer, and uses the noise as cover to dash out. But outside is worse. The entire building is swarming with zombies. He retreats back inside, screaming in frustration. He just wanted to fix a vent, and now he's in a nightmare. Determined not to get ambushed again, Dan blocks the stall's lower gap with an advertisement board. He even starts using the mirror to reflect his movements, trying to outsmart the zombies. He notices a wall phone, but his only working device is still the toilet-soaked phone he reluctantly fishes out, grimacing in disgust. After a quick rinse, he manages to dial security, but the phone short-circuits after just a few words. His last hope, gone. Then a soft voice calls out from the next stall. It's Heather, another survivor. Though he can't see her, Dan quickly becomes infatuated with her kind voice, imagining her to be beautiful. Single for 30 years, he vows to protect her. Her encouragement reignites his courage. He even crafts a makeshift slingshot using a zombie's severed finger, aiming to hit the fire alarm. But in classic Dan fashion, the shot misfires and lodges straight into the security guard's mouth. The poor man chokes, then gets torn apart by zombies seconds later. Dan is crushed with guilt. Heather's voice keeps him grounded, but fate continues mocking him. A misfired slingshot knocks over a ladder, allowing him to grab a toolbox, but the hammer slips into the hands of a zombie. Using quick thinking, Dan taunts it until the zombie pounds the door with the hammer, giving Dan a chance to snatch it back. But not before another zombie bites his arm, or so he thinks. To his relief, the bite doesn't break skin. The zombie had dentures. Dan finally breaks through the partition to reach Heather. When he sees her, she doesn't match the fantasy image in his head. Embarrassed, Heather assumes Dan will reject her. She pours out her struggles of being ridiculed her whole life, then, in an act of despair, opens the bathroom door. A horde of zombies floods in, tearing her apart. Dan watches helplessly, his first real connection with someone, ripped away before his eyes. Broken, he tries the ventilation system, but it's crawling with zombies too. With nowhere left to go, he has one last ridiculous idea. Wrapping himself entirely in toilet paper, Dan disguises himself as a mummy. To his shock, it works. The zombies ignore him as he slips out, walks down the hallway, and makes it to the ground floor. Before leaving, he draws a picture of himself and Heather on the bathroom wall, a tribute to the connection they shared, no matter how brief. Outside, he finds a phone booth and warns his mom to stay indoors. But as he hangs up, he sees the streets swarming with zombies, and the phone booth is surrounded. And that's where we leave Dan, his fate uncertain, his nightmare far from over. And that was the chaotic, hilarious, yet oddly heartbreaking story of Dan, the unlucky handyman who went to fix a fan and ended up in the restroom of the dead. What did you think? Was this the most unlucky repair job in horror history? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more insane movie recaps. Only here on Narrate-Now.